are ready for the border. Okay, so as you see up here in this corner, let's see, we're gonna get my finger in here, whoop, right here. This is where we just finished off. Now we're gonna go down the side here, working one single crochet in each row or each stitch. And then we're gonna do the same repeat pattern that we did for each of these mortar sections here. So you're gonna do 2 rows of single crochet, 3 rows of Suzette, followed by 2 rows of single crochet, and then you're gonna fasten off. Then you're gonna come over here to this corner. Here we go, right here. You're gonna start here and work the border on this side, starting here at this corner, which is where we started our project. You're gonna go up and down, 2 rows of single crochet, 3 rows of Suzette, followed by 2 rows of single crochet, which is gonna bring you back up to this top corner up here. And then you're gonna start working your top section, which is just gonna be a repeat of the mortar section. 2 rows single crochet, 3 rows Suzette, 2 rows single crochet, fasten off, and then come down here to the bottom and work your border again. Okay, so up here in the corner, I'm gonna chain 1 and then start down here. And then the same thing when working your top over here. You'll work 1 single crochet and then turn and work across the top. All right, let's get started on the border. Alrighty, so here we are back inside. Let me just show you the layout. So this is what we're doing now. We're ready to start our border. So here is where we just finished our last row of the color block. So we are right here. We're right here. So I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to work in the ends of each of these rows all the way down, working 1 single crochet. Now, since these rows were worked like this, you're actually going to have stitches to work in. So you're going to have 13 stitches here. And then in your mortar section, remember, it's worked this way. So you're going to be working in the ends of the row. So here you will work 1 single crochet in each row. So that will be a total of 7 stitches. So you'll have 13, 7, 13, 7, all the way down for a total of 173 stitches. And then you will end here. So, yep. And we were doing the same stitch pattern as our mortar rows. So you're going to work 2 rows of single crochet, 3 rows of Suzette, and then 2 rows of single crochet. After you're done with this section, with this side border, go ahead and fasten off, and then you're going to go over here to where we started. This is your starting color block, and then you're going to do the same thing. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch or the end of each row all the way down, and this is where you'll be here. Again, you will have 173 stitches, so 2 rows of single crochet, 3 rows of Suzette, and 2 rows of single crochet. You will end here. Do not fasten off. Go ahead, chain 1, and then work a single crochet in each stitch all the way across. So for your side borders here, for these side pieces here, there'll be 7 stitches. This one's 26, 7, 13, all the way across. You'll end here. Working 1 single crochet in each stitch. You should have 153 stitches going across. Continue working that mortar, so 2 rows of single crochet, 3 rows of Suzette, 2 rows of single crochet, fasten off. And then you're going to go down here and repeat that same process for the bottom row of border, or bottom section of border. And then what's not shown on this diagram is I'm going to go back and I'm going to do a crochet binding using each of the colors that I used in my color block sections. And that's really going to finish off this Crocheted Jericho and frame it out and just really give it a nice finished look. All right, so let's get to stitching. Okay, so I am finishing up my single crochets here of this last section of the color block rows. Now, this is where we would normally turn and go back across here, but this is the top of our blanket. So what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working down the side, all the way down the side. So when we get here, we're just going to keep on going. So each color block row, as I said, is 13 stitches. Each end of your mortar row is going to be 7 stitches. So you're just going to work into the ends of each of these rows just like you've been doing when you're doing the mortar section, except this time we're working on the mortar row instead of our color blocks. So this should be an easy row. So we got 13, 7, 13, 7, all the way down. When you're done, you will have 173 single crochets, and then you're just going to continue on working the same stitch pattern as each of your mortar rows or your small little rectangles on the color blocks. So that's 2 rows of single crochet, 3 rows of the Suzette, and 2 rows of single crochet. And then you can fasten off on this side and go over to your other side. Remember, on the second side, do not fasten off. I will meet back up with you after I have finished this row. So as you're working across your color block rows here, you're working in the actual stitch, because remember, we were working across this way. So 13 stitches, and then here we are at a mortar row, and then you're going to work 1 single crochet in the end of each row. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now we're ready to do another one of the color block rows. So this is going to be 13. So there's my stitches. So just work 13 stitches across and 7. Be sure to keep up with your stitch count. It's really easy because all you have to do is count to 13 and then count to 7. Alrighty. Continue on. Okay, I just finished up my first row of single crochet on this side border. So now I'm going to chain 1 turn and work a single crochet in each stitch all the way across. At the end of this row, I will have 173 stitches. Be sure to do a stitch count on this because you need it to be an odd multiple for starting the Suzette. Okay, so chain 1 and turn. And then single crochet on in every stitch. Sorry, y'all. She's kind of big now for flipping on camera. All right, work that single crochet all the way across. Again, we are just doing the same stitch sequence that we did for the mortar rows and the small rectangle. So that is the 2 rows of single crochet, 3 rows of Suzette, 2 rows of single crochet. I'll meet back up with you at the other end when I'm getting ready to start the Suzette row. And there is my second row of single crochet. So now I'm going to chain 1 and turn and then do 3 rows of Suzette. Quick recap on the Suzette. You're going to work a single crochet and a double crochet in your first stitch. Skip a stitch into the next stitch, work a single and a double. Skip a stitch, single and double. You're going to repeat that all the way across. When you have 2 stitches remaining, you will work a single crochet in that last stitch, chain 1 turn, and then repeat. So it's just a little 1 row repeat. So single and a double, skip a stitch, single and a double, all the way across, end with a single, chain 1 turn, repeat. Do that 3 times, and then you will finish the row or finish this section with 2 rows of single crochet. Repeat it for the other side, the top and the bottom, and then you will be done with this section of the border. All right, y'all, welcome back. So I have just finished up my second side of border. If this color looks a little different to y'all, that's because it is. Apparently, I did not film this part in the original tutorial, so I'm doing this as a little sneak peek. This is the one that I'm working up in my scraps. So anywho, let's get back to it. Okay, so I have just finished doing the border on my second side. So now we're ready to go across the top of the blanket. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, and then you're just going to do a quarter turn, and then we're going to work it in the ends of each of these rows, just like we did for the mortar. So for this side, you're going to work 7 single crochets in this section. And then here we are to a large rectangle. So you'll work 26 single crochets in the large rectangles, 7 in the small, 13 in the squares, back to 7, so on and so forth. So work a single crochet in each stitch all the way across, and then it's just a matter of repeating the sequence that we already have going on. So you'll do 2 rows of single crochet, 3 rows of the Suzette stitch, and 2 rows of single crochet. After you finish the top of the blanket, go ahead and fasten off. And then you're going to repeat this for the bottom section of the blanket. And I will meet back up with you when you get to the end of the bottom. Okay, y'all? All right, so 2 rows single crochet, 3 rows Suzette, 2 rows single crochet. Oh, and you will have 153 single crochets in your top and bottom. That will be your stitch count for the top and bottom. 153. All right, y'all, it is time to do the binding. So I decided that 1 row of single crochet is not going to be enough. So this is what I have left of the colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do each side with one of these colors in a row of single crochet, and then I will switch off to the periwinkle and do the round of half double crochet. So this is going to mimic the binding, a normal quilt binding. It won't be as wide, but that's what we're going to do. It'll be about yay wide-ish. All right, so single crochet in each stitch all the way around. For the corners, you're going to do a chain 2. Go ahead and pop a stitch marker in there. It just makes it easier to find your corners on single crochet. So pop a stitch marker in your corners, and then I will show you how to do the final round of the crochet binding. And then we'll be done, y'all. Hey, y'all. I'm back again and with a different project. So I got to thinking, some of y'all might need a little more demonstration on how to do a single crochet border. So let's go over that. So what I am doing is I'm starting in the corner of either my top or bottom. It doesn't matter which one you want to choose. Either one works just fine. And I'm going into that first stitch, and I'm just going to do a standing single crochet, or however you want to join your yarn. And I'm going to work a single crochet in each stitch all the way across. Just single crochet in each and every stitch. So you will have 153 single crochets. And as you see, I am working across that tail as I go. And then I'm going to drop it to the back, and then I will weave that in later. So continue working a single crochet in each stitch all the way across, and I'll meet up with you at the end of the row. Okay, here I am coming up to the end of the row. Now, if you want to use a different color for each side, like I did, go ahead and switch off to your next color. If you want to use the same color, that's fine. What you're going to do is then you're going to chain 2. And then, remember, work down the side here. So that'll be 7 single crochets. And then, before I go any further, I'm going to grab a stitch marker, and I'm going to pop it right here in this corner, just because that makes it easier to see when I get ready to do my next round. So just go ahead and pop a stitch marker there, like that. You can also back this out. After you do your chain 2, then pop your stitch marker in. And then go back in and start working your single crochets. Whoa! And then start working your single, oops, that's a double. Working your single crochet all the way down. Now, because of the border that you did on the top and the bottom, you will have 7 extra stitches at the top and 7 extra stitches at the bottom. So on your sides, your new stitch count is going to be 187, I do believe. Let me think for a second. Yes, 187. So work a single crochet in each stitch all the way across. Once you get to your border section here, then you'll start working into the stitches. But go ahead, work 7 here, and then work the rest of your stitches all the way down. and then in each corner work 2 chains. So single crochet in each stitch all the way around, chain 2 for your corners. So your tops will still have 153 single crochets, 153 stitches, and your sides will now have 187. Corners, chain 2. Alrighty, I'll meet back up with you in just a minute. Okay, so let me just add, you will need your chain 2 in corners because in the next round we're going to work right into those into that chain 2 space. So when you switch off your color, be sure you do a chain 2. The way I did mine, I believe I did a chain 1, chained off my color, changed off my color, and then did another chain. That way my knot is right there in the center, because when I go back and do the next round of half double crochet, it's going to hide that knot. Okay? All right. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm finishing up. That is my last single crochet. I've already put my new color on. Again, this is Periwinkle, and I am choosing this color because it is the designer of the Jericho quilt, Miss Kimberly, the pajama quilter. It is her favorite color, so that is what I'm going to use for the final round of the Crocheted Jericho. So here I am. So I'm going to go ahead and chain 2. Since I did each side a different color, I started here and not in the center, so I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch to join. Chain 1. And then I'm going to work a half double crochet in each and every stitch all the way around. So work a half double crochet. I'll meet up with y'all at the corner. Okay, so I'm coming up to my first corner here. I have just worked a half double crochet in each and every stitch all the way around, and here I am to my chain 2 space, and I am way over there. Okay, let me scooch back center screen here. Okay, so in this corner space, I'm going to work 3 half double crochets. First, we're going to not get our yarn all twisted. So 3 half double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3. That is going to make our corner. This here, I moved my stitch marker. This marks my first stitch of the row. So I'm going to go ahead and work a half double into that. Remove my stitch marker here. And then continue on working a half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. Your top and bottom will have 153 stitches and your sides will have 187. And let's see how that looks. So that'll give us a little bit of a rounded corner here. But I think that looks really nice for the faux binding of the Crocheted Jericho. So what that's going to do is that's going to frame out your quilt and give it a finishing touch. 3 half doubles in the corner. And then I'm going to continue working. Half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. 3 half doubles in the corner. When I get back to the beginning, you'll be on a corner, so work 3 half doubles and then you'll slip stitch to join and you will be all done. I'll meet back up with you at the end. I'm at my last corner. We're gonna work 3 half double crochets. Jump over here, slip stitch. Well, if I can get that out of there. There we go. Ta-da! And we are done. I'm going to chain 1, fasten off, weave in my tails, and y'all, we are finished. Yahoo, yahoo! I think that looks really pretty. Okay, let's move this out of the way and slide it up a little bit so you can get a good picture of the border here, of the binding. All right, y'all, I love the way that binding turned out. I think is absolutely gorgeous. The texture. Thanks y'all so much for coming along with me on this journey for the Crocheted Jericho. I hope y'all have enjoyed it as much as I have. And I will see y'all in the next tutorial. Remember, be creative. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye.